Welcome to this game 3 of the Octagonal between Honduras and USA. Everything is ready for such a crucial game for both Honduras team and USA men national team, and this is gonna be a quick preview of what we can expect from both teams. Honduras, la selección de Coito ha sido una de las sorpresas hasta ahora en estas dos jornadas del octagonal, no tanto por los resultados, sino por la contundencia con la cual fue capaz de aplacar al equipo de Canadá y al mismo tiempo al equipo de El Salvador en dos partidos jugados fuera de casa. Como su director técnico, el profe Coito, ha señalado, para Honduras se trata de dominar el juego, aunque eso suponga no dominar el balón. Y los dos elementos fundamentales del juego de Honduras son sin duda su defensa zonal, presionante, y por otro lado su velocidad de ejecución de las transiciones en ataque. Si Honduras aquí es el equipo azul, Honduras es un equipo que trata de centrar su presión para tratar de reducir espacios. Balón hacia zona izquierda y el equipo va a rotar, va a tratar de dividir el campo en dos y crear superioridades. Más importante que todo eso, cada vez que el balón trata de entrar en una zona interior, el jugador que defiende esa zona persigue. Es decir, es una defensa zonal pero presionante. Persigue, y uno de los principios sin duda del equipo hondureño es el de tratar de denegar el turn, ¿de acuerdo? Que no se dé la vuelta, que no pueda jugar fácil. Por eso decimos que es una defensa presionante. Al final, Honduras acaba de alguna manera tratando de imponer una especie de red para el equipo rival, y es difícil de penetrar y de introducirse. El equipo de Coito en este sentido es un equipo que recuerda de alguna manera al equipo que formó el Cholo Simeone en los primeros años en el Atlético de Madrid. Ahora el equipo de Simeone tiene más variantes, sobre todo con balón, pero entonces era un equipo que dominaba el juego a través de su defensa zonal presionante, ¿verdad? Entonces, balón que entra en zona, jugador que presiona. Y el otro gran principio del juego de Honduras son las transiciones ofensivas rapidísimas. Una vez de que Honduras recupera balón, rápidamente trata de salir y ser muy vertical. Por ello también a veces sus transiciones ocurren después de pelota parada o después de un saque de banda, después de una falta. Son momentos en los cuales el equipo hondureño puede sorprender. So, very quickly in English and to summarize as well, so the Honduran team of DT Coito has as the two main principles the zonal defense with a lot of pressure, and then the quick offensive transitions. So again, when the opponent, like here in red, tries to play through and tries to go in that zone, so one of the Honduran players are gonna not only just cover, but really press, trying to deny the turn, trying to intercept as well. So it is a zonal defense, but with a lot of individual pressure on the ball possession. And then the other aspects of the Honduran defense, and all of these trying to make the field smaller and smaller, so there are no spaces to go through. Once Honduras recovers the ball, it's just immediately trying to play through. immediately trying to play a vertical ball, trying to generate 1v1s, and that is exactly what Honduras. And what about the US men's national team? Well, it's been 2 games, it's been 2 ties, and the feeling that the US men's national team hasn't been able to impose as much as they would have liked their style of play, and haven't been as dominant as they would have liked it. And now they are playing in Honduras in an away game against a team that has succeeded in executing their principles of play, the zonal defense with a lot of pressure plus the attacking transitions. So when it comes to the US men's national team, what's going to happen? What could happen in this game versus Honduras? I think we could look at the game they played about 3-4 months ago in the Nations League semifinal, where Honduras and USA match up and play a very even game. For USA, to be honest, and for any other team, as it happens with Canada, with all the power that Canada has with players playing in Europe as Alphonso Davies, Jonathan David, and then Tayshaun Buchanan, and so forth, with all that strength and all that offensive power, was not enough to break down the Honduras national team. So for USA, it's also a matter of patience, because if not, Honduras is gonna have more opportunities to find 1v1s in their attacking transitions. Now, one of the things that can work out to open up this zonal defense with pressure by Honduras are the counter runs. This is something we have been talking about in other moments. What are the counter runs? Imagine that US is building up with just their classic 4-3-3. The classic 4-3-3 here in red, US building up with the 4-3-3. So if we have one of the 8s and the 10s, so imagine that we have building up through the left center back, and then we have one of these movements. Imagine this is Pulisic or this is Aronson, and it's coming in here, okay? It's coming, this is opening up a little bit, and it's coming in here, and this is open. So usually this player actually is gonna go, the right back is gonna go with him. This is the movement, and he's gonna go because it's a zonal defense, but with pressure on the ball. Okay, so this is what we can do. This is what US men's national team can do. Of course, Honduras is already rotating, but these are the kind of counter runs that we are talking about. So it's just checking 2, and then immediately, ideally at the same time, the check 2, and then the penetrating run. That's one of the ways to just move and find spaces between and inside this zonal defense. Another way, of course, has to do with trying to play over. That's why I think in the second half especially, US men's national team, as it happened actually with Canada in the game versus Honduras, might go into a 2-forward system in the second half, where maybe we still have Josh Sargent, we have Pifok, or we have Pepe, and we are trying also to go over because of 2 things: because US men's national team has a strength in the air, and because Honduras is not their best quality, and then it's a good way to just go over this net that Honduras team puts in this center channel in order for them to control the game. So going over, ideally diagonally, using the counter runs. Another element for the US men's national team has to do with playing through, and for sure US men's national team might also go to build with back 3 to build with back three, having the fullbacks a little bit more open, and then just having one or two here, we don't know, but just build with back three. When they build with back three, and then here again doing something like that, like this, when they build with back three, Honduras usually is gonna try to, depending on how many players, how many center mids are in here, is gonna try to still just cover here with one, and then make sure that they are ready to control these passing lines. So Honduras is not gonna care too much about these three. It's only gonna have one in here, and then it's gonna try to control these center passing lines, to block these passing lines and just force wide. Now again, forcing wide, we are gonna have, in terms of US men's national team, they are gonna have always the chance to play through, to play over and trying to go for the crosses. So the other thing that has to do with personnel, and that I am personally interested in looking at, is how come, if there is a relationship between the amount of center backs that were rostered for US men's national team and the idea of playing or lining up with three center backs used as playmakers in one of the games. Something that hasn't happened yet. What is US men's national team? What I'm saying is, what is US men's national team going to do with Zimmerman, with Mackenzie, with James Sands? Are they gonna play? Were they rostered because Honduras is playing with the 4-4-2 and they wanna think about having the back three to just be part of their game plan? That is something that I would like to see. In either way, I definitely see Anthony Robinson playing as the left center back, because his ability to cross, and because his ability to cross without any kind of movement, just crossing with the feet established, he can do these kind of things. On the right, there are not too many options right now for US men's national team, unless Yedlin is too tired physically, in which situation it will be Acosta. A player that could help in to break down the Honduras zonal individual pressure defense, in my opinion, is Christian Roldan. Christian Roldan is a player that always plays certain minutes in the second half, and it might be the moment to bring him in, but I will say that his movements could help the men's national team to utilize those spaces, utilizing Pulisic, utilizing Aronson as decoys, and then having the 8 and 10s just going into those spaces. The other player that could help in terms of working without the ball will be also Ricardo Pepi. We'll see if it's a game for him, if he has a chance to play, but definitely movement without the ball, it's more than ever key. Usually US men's national team is playing with Leggett, which has a lot of tactical sense of this kind of counter runs, and it might be an option as well, because he has already kind of in sync movements with Pulisic and with Aronson. But again, I think Christian Roldan especially, and also Ricardo Pepi, could be options to just finding the pockets that the decoy movements of Pulisic or Aronson can open up for other teammates. All this to say, in the second half, just because of the nature of the game, Honduras is going to leave more spaces and the game will be slightly different in the second half. But Honduras right now is in a moment in which they feel very confident about the way they control the game with a controlling possession and the way they can hurt opponents, which is basically, again, trying to find those moments in which they can find by themselves, isolating 1v1s, Kyoto, Choco Lozano, Rodriguez, and so forth. So we'll see what happens in this game. And as always, thank you so much for looking and paying attention to this preview of this fascinating game of the Octagonal between Honduras and US men's national team.